into those areas where employment generation is easier than everybody going to do an MBA, everybody going to do business management, everybody going to do marketing, everybody going to do history and all that. And so that is one of the things that we need to look. And the way we can do it is to increase capacity in vocational and technical training. And so for some of our secondary schools, we must convert them into technical and vocational training schools so that people can finish JHS and say, look, I want to go into a technical and vocational school because I want to learn a skill, get a certificate, and go into the world of work. And they should be able to do that. And so those are the reforms that we'll look at and seek to implement. Will we consult health professionals in appointments I didn't really understand the question. To which is it like the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, we should call all health professionals together and ask them, who do you want to be the Director General of the Ghana Health Service? You know, some of those appointments are the prerogative of the President. He will consult as far as possible in order to get a good person to be there. But you cannot universally consult in order to fill one position or the other. And so what we must look for is people who have merit and people who can bring a change to where you're posting them to, and not just bring people because they are political party affiliates and so on and so forth. You might have a person who can achieve results for you in a particular area. He's not partisan, but the work that he does would be a credit to your political party because it will bring quality and progress into the area. With health professionals, we will always need health professionals. And that is one of the reasons that we were expanding the infrastructure in the healthcare space. You know, by building more CHIPS compounds, by building more polyclinics, by building more hospitals, so that we could create more space for absorbing health professionals as they come out of school. And so once that expansion is taking place, there will be a demand and a need for them. But I have said that even as we're employing health professionals, we must also be taking into consideration where we have an excess of health professionals to see how we can sign agreements with foreign countries, allow them to go on fixed-term migration service, go and work for 4 or 5 years, gain some experience, and come back home. They'll come back home with more experience and come and join the service again. And so helping nurses to improve their qualification and experience to be able to go and work outside for a period of time and come back is something that we will also consider, even as we're doing yearly postings of these professionals as they come out of school. My comrade Bampo spoke about equal work for equal pay. This is what we worked on for many years as the universal pay structure, which is the single spine. And after arduous negotiations, we eventually came out with the Ghana Universal Salary Structure, which was famously called the single spine. Since we left office, I hear the single spine no longer exists. The spine is broken because some people have been taking off the spine and their services have been improved while others have been left marking time. And so what we're trying to achieve by equality in terms of work and pay has been dislodged again. And so you go to some public offices, same proficiency, same qualifications, same skill, but one, because they are a secretary in a certain establishment, and 3 times what their colleague in other establishments earn. It's unfair, it's unjust, and that is what we try to cure by the GUSS. But we will listen to labor, and we will work with you, our partners, and see what we can do to come up with a fair remuneration system in the public services. You cannot get complete equality, but at least you can get fairness in terms of how people are remunerated in the public service. And with Reverend Benson, pastors are suffering. And I've always said that our pastors are among the first to notice when the economy is declining. When the economy is declining and the disposable income of your congregation is dwindling, you will see it in the collection bowl. You will see it. The metamorphosis of 10 CD and 5 CD notes and 1 CD notes will be very obvious. And you see a very visible absence of 50s and 100s and 200 notes. Then you know that sometimes you even see coins in the collection bowl. Then you know that the economy is in crisis. And so, like Pastor said, NDC is going to come and work. Our first priority will be to stabilize the macroeconomy and then also stabilize the depreciation of the cedi, because the depreciation of the currency has an effect on every other sector of the economy. And so if we're able to do that and we accelerate the growth of our country and we're able to bring in more inward investment, this government has sacked most of the players in the upstream sector. For 8 years, there has been no single addition to our oil and gas production. And yet we're in the transition period for oil and gas. This is the time we should be pumping that oil and gas like crazy, because the transition is happening. We're going into cleaner energy, and a time will come when you have what we call stranded assets. Stranded assets are what will happen when the world has done the transition into renewable energy and you have oil in the ground but it's of no use to anybody. And so we must encourage our partners to work assiduously to come and increase oil and gas production. We must get the ENIs of this world to come. We have a shortfall in gas production. And so what is making our electricity more expensive is that we're having to import liquid crude oil to fire some of the thermal plants. Just the building a Chabo gas processing plant is the most transformational investment that has been made in this country. After Akosombo, that is the next most transformational plant, that investment that has been made. And thank the memory of our late President, President Jonathan Mills, for that. I came and continued and commissioned it. But that plant is saving us more than $500 million every year, which we would have used to pay for crude oil. And if we're able to increase and bring on a second gas train, Tullow has more gas to bring on board. If we get ENI to come back and also drill and produce more gas, it will bring the cost of the electricity down, and it will increase the non-tax revenue that we get. We must invest in the cocoa sector, stop the mismanagement in the cocoa sector. The headquarters of Cocoa Board alone spent 3.4 billion cedis in 1 year. I mean, why? Are you growing the cocoa trees in Cocoa House or what? And meanwhile, the share of the farmer dwindled to its lowest. And so the farmers had no incentive to look after the cocoa farms. And so we should rather change it. The amount spent on headquarters must come down. The amount spent on the farmers must go up, so that they can invest in the farms and make sure that we're able to export and bring more money in. And so we should be able to do all that so that we can grow the economy. And once the economy is growing, more people are having money in their pockets. Reverend Benson, you're going to see that the collections are going to start coming back to normal. My brother, Awingobit, and I told him that now that they've been disqualified, they should just come and join us and let us win this election. We're comrades, after all, we are both social democratic parties. I think it was quite unfair, the disqualification of the PNC. And unfortunately, they sought justice from the courts, and again they were denied. But I do think that better luck next time. We will receive you, we'll invite you, and we'll go on campaign with you. And when we win, you are partners. We will work together to reset this country and reset Ghana. Comrade Awingobi talked about taxes and the fixed rate. I didn't talk about taxes because this is just the forum on governance. We're going to have a forum on the economy, and under that we're going to talk about taxes. But just to assure you, we have said we are going to introduce a fixed rate policy for a period so that